Hi, I'm Kevin Morris, and today we're going to be working on a project for my chickens. So if you can zoom in a little closer on the ground here, you can kind of see that I'm building a indoor chicken coop for the winter. You can see the gravel here, okay? And I put down about 4 to 5 inches of gravel for the foundation so it won't settle too bad. And then I'm going to insulate it and make a nice warm place for the chickens to roost during the winter. I've researched it and found that they'll continue to produce through the winter if they're not too cold. And plus that keeps them from freezing too. We get pretty cold here in Utah. So this here is just actually an old dog run, and we transformed it, wrapped it with chicken wire, and then put some boxes in there so they can roost in there, and a little area for them to walk around, and so they can move around and have a little fun going on and space to move. Okay, some of the materials we're going to be using for this, you can see here we've got some 2x2s, some old 4x4, 2x4s, some 2x8s. These are all just old materials I've had around, some plywood. I even have some some pine 1x solid wood, and then I've got several doors here that I've got off old homes that we've remodeled, and we're going to use some of these as the walls of the, I guess you'd call it a shabby chic chicken coop, but more shabby. But we kind of wanted to make it unique too, but also be able to use a lot of these stuff up. And then I've got a few more products this way. Some old shelving that came off an old trailer. And then over here you can see we've got a bunch of pallets that we've got too, and we're going to be using that for this project, and probably some other, I'll see what I need for plywood, and then we'll have some roofing material. We want to dry it in so that way it doesn't leak and it doesn't fall apart from the bad weather, rain and snow. And we'll show you the kind of the process and then the finished product and see where we go from there. Thanks a lot for joining me. Hi everybody, I wanted to bring you up to speed with our little shabby chicken box or house, whatever we want to call it. Now, if you can see this here, let me show you down the bottom. We have the gravel, and you saw that. I decided to use pressure treated wood down here so it could handle the moisture better. And then I've insulated in there with some foam, but I'll show you what we'll do with that. Same in the walls, but I didn't want to have to lift it up and show it to you. But so we've got a pretty good structure. I've had to purchase a few items. This is a kind of a siding material, and if you want to go around the outside, you can kind of see the type of material it is. It's a pre-primed product, so we'll paint this in the spring. And then the back wall, we needed that there too because I have only a few doors and products to use in the front. We kind of wanted that up front, so I framed that off where I'm going to frame the roof, just a shed roof, a slant roof, and sit it right on these spots here. And then here's one of our doors, so we'll have a nice window to give it light and be able to see in. And then this right down here, I've cut out, we're going to build a little chute leading right over to this part of the chicken coop, so that way the chickens can come and go as they want. And we can keep this part warm during the winter. And I'll build a door here so at night we can close it off, and that way the heat doesn't escape and we can keep them warm during the winter. So I'll be adding more to the walls, and then for inside for the beds, I've got an old dresser that was all junk, and we decided we're going to use that inside. So we're repurposing a lot of products to make this kind of fun, but also save on cost. Okay, I'll update you as we go. Hi everybody. Hey, this is the final episode of the chicken house for the season. I've got a few more things to do, but that'll happen in the spring. So you can kind of see we use different doors out here. Here's one with a window, give it a little light. I wanted to use some of this old wood so it looked more rustic. In the spring, I'm going to put a whitewash on it so it looks more rustic and kind of the old look, but nice. And then on this one, I have a chicken bed inside, so I'm going to open up a door here so I have access to the eggs there. And then up top here, I'm going to open up one in the spring and put a door here and then screen it with wire. So that way during the summer when it's hotter, we can get ventilation for them. So let me show you inside and then we'll wrap it up. So we used just an old door and there it is. And as you come on in, the decking down here, if you can see, we used a pressure treated material for the frame, and that's to handle the moisture. We insulated the bottom, and then you can kind of see over here against the walls, the shiny stuff, that's just foam insulation around here. And then for our chicken beds, we had some old dressers. These two here dressers, you can see we cut out the drawers, made the beds for the chickens, and then I did the same over here. Now, I found out that chickens will eat about anything, and they were eating my foam insulation down low. So you can kind of see I just tacked up all scraps that I had throughout the yard in the burn pile or garbage. So anywhere that they have access to, I've nailed boards on. Here you can kind of see I used some of the drawer fronts just so they wouldn't eat it. I'm sure it's not good for them. Found that out the hard way, had to fix it. And then as I was building this and patching it together, I thought, this is in honor of my grandpa. He used to build all sorts of things in the yards, and he'd always show up with a truckload of tires and wire and wood, and he'd just start building fences for our horses. Now, access to the outside part of the chicken coop is just through this little slide door. And that way we can close it off at night and it'll stay warm. And then it just slides right back down in. So that way I can keep them in here. And then the last thing is you can see up top here, I've got a heat lamp. And that's to heat it up because we get pretty cold here in Utah. Last few days we've been well below freezing at night. And sometimes it gets pretty darn cold. So that's pretty much what's going on. If you have any comments or would like to say something, or if you have questions, feel free to get with me. And we hope you liked it.